Issa Rae was sleeping around behind his back. Like, huh? Like, really, that wasn't cool at all from Issa. She got to chill out with all that. I know, I'm a million years late. I'm probably the only person in the world that hasn't watched Insecure, and that's kind of my fault. I don't really have any excuses for it. So yeah, if you are new here, I am Ramy B. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. I'm going to be doing reactions on season 2 and 3 as well, so stay tuned for those. I'm currently a couple episodes in on season 2, and honestly, I've been binging it, so I'm probably going to get through it real quick. So don't be surprised if the reactions for season 2 and 3 come out shortly after this video. I tried watching Insecure a couple of years ago after season 1 came out. I'd heard about it on the Joe Budden podcast, and I heard about how great it was. I watched an episode, maybe I watched part of episode 2 as well, but I didn't really find it interesting at all, so I just kind of gave up on it and then let it go. And then I saw that season 3 came out and I was like, oh wow, this show's really going. And then a couple people I know told me how good it was and to give it a chance. So I got back into it last week and I binged the whole entire 8-episode season in like 3 days. So I've been really hooked on it. So let me give you a quick reaction on this. It won't be a super deep dive because y'all have already probably seen it and I'm the only one in the world who hasn't. So it's kind of my brief and quick reactions about season 1. Let's get started. Right into episode 1, I find out that Issa's having some issues with Lawrence. She feels he's not doing much or carrying his load of the relationship. He's been kind of sleeping on her couch for months and hasn't really been carrying his end or doing his part. So I've learned a little bit about that, and then I knew the whole thing with Molly and her relationship, and Issa seemed she was very unhappy and talking about she wanted to end her relationship even though she really didn't. You get introduced to Daniel and find out she kind of had a thing for him. You don't really know too much about the history till later on. As the season progresses, you find out about Molly and kind of her issues with relationships, jumping from dating app to dating app, not able to find a man, always coming up with excuses. It seemed like she had a real thing with Jared. She kind of broke that off, got back with Jared, and then he talked about that little incident that happened between him and another man in the past, and then she was kind of like, you know, she wasn't having it, so she was like, nah, that's over, I'm done with that. So yeah, nothing really too juicy in that, I guess. I mean, for me, I wasn't really expecting too much from the Molly thing. I'd heard a little bit about it, but it wasn't really why I tuned in. And then you have the whole thing with Issa's job and the nonprofit, and she's being surrounded by a bunch of white employees, and they're trying very hard to toe the line and not be very racist or say racial marks, but the way they come off seems a little racist, just the comments they make and how they try to be super aware, but they're really not, which kind of talks about kind of the environment we're in today in American society. And at her job, Issa's kind of like the token black woman. They kind of look to her for approval from the things she says, and it seems like they're kind of controlling what they're saying around her to come off as not racist. I don't know, it's like a weird dynamic, and I'm sure a lot of people who have worked in the nonprofit world as myself realize that the people that work there kind of don't understand these things when it comes to helping individuals of other races and backgrounds. But anyways, let me get past all that stuff and go right into what I was interested in the most. It was Issa and Lawrence's relationship and kind of the situations going on with that. Lawrence was just kind of sitting on the couch trying to work on his app, looking for a professional position, didn't really want a retail position, and I don't think he realized Issa was unsatisfied in the relationship, so he kind of really didn't carry his end. But then as she started to distance herself, she went out to like that open mic night with Molly and then didn't come home for a few days. Lawrence kind of found out that he wasn't really doing his part. He admitted to, I think it was his friend or maybe it was the neighbor downstairs, that Blood, he was admitting that, you know, he messed up on her birthday and he could be doing a little bit more. So I think for him, he realized what he was doing and wanted to kind of improve on it. He got a job at Best Buy. Shout out Best Buy. I used to work there for 5 years, you know what I'm saying. But he worked there for a little bit and he was kind of getting his things back together. She came back home and he was like cooking dinner and he was trying to make an effort, but she really wasn't having it. I don't know, it was just like this weird thing. I think she was like, you know what, it's just a phase. She ended up sleeping with Daniel, as you all know, in the studio. And from there, that's when things got juicy for me. She was trying to cover it up the whole time, and you know, I kind of felt bad for Lawrence, I'm not gonna lie. I'm in hashtag Lawrence Hive. I'm on Lawrence's side in this, you know, no excuse to cheat on him. Even though he wasn't carrying his end, she should have just had a conversation with him and been like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, I'm unhappy, you need to do these things. And kind of have a discussion around it just so he can know what's going on and how he can improve himself in the relationship. But it didn't happen. She sought out validation or acceptance from somewhere else, from Daniel, regretted it instantly, and then tried her best to cover it up, was like overcompensating essentially. Like she was cooking him breakfast with the bacon, she had the pancakes, she had the waffle, like she had everything going on. She was carrying her end. And then like the whole thing with her rap video, she was trying to get it taken down. Of course, he goes and gets it taken down. It's completely off the internet. And she just started realizing like, damn, you know, I f***ed up. I shouldn't have done that. This guy really cares about me. He really loves me and he's doing his part for me. And then the one night he's going to the bathroom and then he finds a text from her, from Daniel. He gives it kind of a look, episode ends, you kind of forget about it. And then the next episode, or maybe the episode after that, was when the fundraiser was going on. And then Daniel shows up to the fundraiser. Molly's covering for her. And you know, let's talk about this. Molly, she's really disrespected by Issa. I love Issa Rae as an actress and a person, but in the show, she was kind of trash, to be honest. She was always disrespecting Molly, talking about her and whole thing about not being able to find a relationship and, you know, kind of sleeping around and everything like that. But Molly tried covering up for her, getting him out of there. He wasn't out of there. Issa talked to him and then Lawrence saw it. And then Lawrence goes outside. He's standing next to Daniel and I was like, ooh, it's about to go down. I didn't know what was going to happen. And there was a shot of them two kind of standing side by side, both of them serious faces. And that's when you realize, like, Daniel's kind of like the F-boy kind of person, like the way he walks, like his swagger and energy, like he can get any woman he wants. And then Lawrence is like the husband, good guy type, even though he had some issues with her. Just the way they came off was really interesting. And then he asked him, you know, what's your connection? And we got y'all. Literally a one-sentence reply from Daniel kind of gave Lawrence all the information he needed. And then he hit Issa Rae with the, who is Daniel, when she got home. And then everything kind of exploded from there. He flipped out and he's like, look, I was doing my part. He's like, I thought we were in this together. Clearly they weren't. Issa regretted it. And then I think the last episode was when she went to Malibu with the girls for the birthday party. And then she ended up having Molly drive her all the way back so she could meet Lawrence, only to find out he left his keys and took all his stuff. Overall, the season was really insane. I got really hooked, I think, after episode 2, maybe 3, when the career day happened. That's when I was really starting to get hooked into it. Like, I was feeling bad for Lawrence. That bank teller that he was always going to, she was trying to flirt with him. She came to his job at Best Buy and he was like, look, I got a woman, I'm loyal, back off. And all this happens to him, like, you know, I know a lot of men, majority of men, I think all men are like in Lawrence Hive, and there's kind of like this divide between men and women because of it. But hashtag Lawrence Hive all the way. Should have never happened to him. He seems like a good guy from season 1. And I just really felt bad for him. Like, he recognized on his own that things weren't really going well and he wasn't holding his end of the relationship. And he was like, you know what, I'm gonna step up. I need to be a better man. And he was. And while he was doing it, Issa Rae was sleeping around behind his back. Like, huh? Like, really, that wasn't cool at all from Issa. She got to chill out with all that. But that is my super quick reaction. I thought the season was amazing. I thought it was well put together. I think Issa Rae did an amazing job putting this show together. I don't know if it's written by her as well, but I think she's like the main person behind it. It was really good how they were able to incorporate a lot of things that kind of goes on in today's dating relationship world in 2016 when the season came out, I think, from that time. But it's still kind of relevant today. And it was just really cool how it all encompassed together a lot of, like, older millennials and their whole issues with dating, finding jobs, trying to get their life together and things like that. So I thought it was very relevant. And we need to talk about HBO and their TV show soundtracks. The only shows I've ever watched from HBO is Ballers, a big fan of that show, and now Insecure. And I've realized every episode has the best soundtrack in the world. I think HBO does a good job of getting amazing songs. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're able to get clearances more than other TV channels and other networks or not, but whatever they do a great job with it. The soundtrack was amazing in season 1. Overall, a great show. I would give it probably an 8.5, 9 out of 10. There was some things that I'd like to see done different, but overall, I can't complain. I'm hooked now. A couple episodes into season 2, so season 2 reaction will be coming up very soon. I love the show. I loved Issa. I loved Lawrence, the character that plays Lawrence. I don't know his name, but overall a great season. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm not going to make this video much longer. Once again, if you are new here, click the subscribe button down below. Like this video, comment what you think. I'm mad at myself for being so late on this show because this show is amazing and I can't wait to binge season 2 and season 3. And then of course the dreaded, once you're caught up, you have to wait like another year until season 4 comes out. I don't know if they re-signed for season 4. I think I saw something about it. I don't know. But yeah, that is my reaction to season 1 of Insecure. Thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in, and I cannot wait to get into season 2 and let y'all know what I think. Thank you, and I am out.